You didn't lose because of the market. You lost because of you. Not your strategy, not the news, but because somewhere deep down, you couldn't let go of the need to win. And that need, that's what took everything. Today, I'm sharing 5 psychological rules from Mark Douglas. Rules that didn't just change how I trade, they changed how I think. Rules that could have saved me from blowing 3 accounts and nearly quitting for good. If you've ever felt that tight knot in your chest after a loss, or rage after getting stopped out too early, then this one's for you. Mark Douglas wasn't just another trading guru. He didn't sell you the dream. He warned you about the cost. He didn't teach how to survive the market. He taught how to survive yourself. His book, Trading in the Zone, isn't really about trading. It's about the person staring back at you from the screen. This video isn't financial advice. It's psychological clarity. And if you've ever blown an account, or 2 or 5, stay right here. Part 1, Marcus's story. Let me tell you about Marcus. 27 years old. Lived in Atlanta. Studied economics. Worked full-time by day, traded New York session by night. Ambitious. Obsessed. He had a $5,000 funded account. Passed 2 challenges. 3 green weeks in a row. Told his mom he was finally on the right path. Then came that day. Euro to US dollar setup looked flawless. Break of structure. Retest. Clean confirmation. He felt it. So he went in heavy. 3.5% risk. It reversed. He didn't close. He doubled down. Watched the drawdown hit 7%. Then 11%. Palms sweating. Mouth dry. He finally slammed the mouse and closed it all. $1,900 gone. He stared at the chart for hours. Not to analyze, but to punish himself. Next morning, the dashboard read, account breached. Evaluation failed. Marcus didn't lose because of his setup. He lost because his mind wasn't trained. Because somewhere deep inside, he needed to win. To prove something. To himself. To the market. To a voice in his head whispering, "You're not enough unless you win." Mark Douglas warned us about this. He said, "The best traders have no ego, no need to win, just a process." I didn't get that when I started. Now, I live by it. The 5 rules that changed my life. Rule number 1, the need to be right. Mark Douglas said, "You don't need to know what's going to happen next to make money." That quote wrecked me. Because my first year of trading, I thought that was the whole point, to know, to predict, to be right. Every trade felt like a test. If it won, I was smart. If it lost, I was stupid. But here's the raw truth. Wanting to be right is ego, dressed up as logic. Let me tell you about Janelle. Swing trader, clean charts, solid edge, smart, methodical. But when trades went against her, she'd freeze. Reanalyze, redraw fibs, add new zones, until her chart looked like chaos. She couldn't accept being wrong, so she held losing trades, hoping the market would come back to her. It rarely did. Sound familiar? Wanting to be right will drain your account, but worse, it'll drain your confidence. So ask yourself honestly, do I want to make money, or do I just want to be right? Rule number 2, overleveraging after a win. Mark Douglas said, "The worst thing that can happen to a new trader is winning on a bad trade." Why? Because it teaches you the wrong lesson. That breaking rules works. Let me introduce Jason. Scalper. Quick. Sharp. One morning, he broke his golden rule. No trading during high volatility. He did it anyway. Caught a 5-hour win in 8 minutes. Felt like a god. Next trade? Doubled his risk, then tripled it. And on the 3rd one, boom, reversal. Half his week, gone. By Friday he was red. That first win, it wasn't a gift. It was a setup. When you win off bad behavior, your brain locks it in, and you'll pay for it later. Rule number 3, fear of missing out. FOMO. You're scrolling Telegram. Someone posts, Euro to US dollar broke resistance. Already plus 35 pips. You weren't in it. You should have been in it. So you jump into the next setup. Fast. and it dumps on you. Mark Douglas wrote, "One of the biggest mistakes traders make is thinking there's only one opportunity. FOMO tricks you, makes you chase, makes you think the market moves without you, and your value is tied to catching every move. It's toxic." Let's talk about Rico, the trigger-happy trader. He took 14 trades in 1 week. Half weren't in his plan. He chased breakouts, jumped early, closed too soon, reacted emotionally, not strategically. When I asked him why, he said, "I just don't want to feel like I'm wasting time." But FOMO trades? They are a waste of time and capital. Trading isn't about chasing every wave. It's about waiting for your wave and riding it with precision. Rule number 4, self-sabotage after progress. This one's sneaky, dangerous. You're finally doing things right. 3 green weeks, momentum's building, and then you start breaking rules, moving stops, overtrading, second-guessing yourself. Why? Because deep down, you don't believe you deserve consistency. Mark Douglas said, "We always act in a way that's consistent with what we believe about ourselves." Let me tell you about Elena. Best month ever. Up 12%. Journaling, reviewing, focused. Then out of nowhere, 5 unplanned trades in 2 days. Lost half her gains. She told me, "It's like, I didn't know who I was when I started winning." Her success triggered her self-doubt. That's the trap. You don't just need a strategy. You need a mindset that believes you're worthy of success. Rule number 5, trading to get even. Revenge trading. You lose. It stings. So you jump in again, same pair, no plan, just pain. Mark Douglas warned, "There's a big difference between wanting to win and needing to win." Needing to win, that's when desperation kicks in. Here's Kyle. Lost $400 on pound sterling to Japanese yen. Slammed the table. Opened another position, no setup. Lost again. $1,000 gone in 20 minutes. Not because he didn't know how to trade, but because he couldn't accept the loss. You don't trade to get even. The market owes you nothing. And if you act like it does, it will humble you. Why the mind is the real market. You can master a strategy. You can memorize every candlestick pattern in existence. You can even pass a prop firm challenge. But if you can't master yourself, the market will expose you. Because the real market is not on your screen. It's in your head. Every candle you see, every spike, every wick, is just a reflection of human emotion. Fear, greed, hesitation, conviction, all flickering in real time. And just like those charts swing violently, so do you, until you train your mind. Mark Douglas said, "The consistency you seek is in your mind, not the markets." That sentence changed everything for me. It made me stop chasing the perfect setup and start studying my reactions. Every time I moved my stop out of fear, every time I closed too early out of guilt, every time I ignored a setup I knew was valid, because I didn't feel right, I realized I wasn't trading a system. I was trading my emotions. Let me give it to you straight. The strategy is not the edge. Emotional neutrality is the edge. Detached execution is the edge. Doing the boring thing over and over, that's what builds accounts. But nobody wants to hear that, because it's not sexy. It won't go viral on Instagram. It doesn't promise overnight wins. But it works. Now pause for a second and ask yourself, am I here to win? Or am I here to look like I know what I'm doing? Because the trader who's trying to prove something, they always overtrade, always force it, always burn out. But the trader who's at peace, who sees each trade as just 1 in 1,000, that's the trader who wins. Quietly, consistently, powerfully. And that's the shift Mark Douglas gave me. I stopped trying to control the market and started managing the only thing I ever could. The recovery framework. Okay, so now you know the rules. You've seen where the traps are. But the question is, what now? How do you actually become the trader who doesn't panic, who doesn't chase, who doesn't crumble when things go sideways? It starts with one thing, self-awareness, because you can't fix what you won't face. Every trade you take, it's a mirror. It shows you what you really believe about yourself. And most traders, they're not trading setups. They're trading fear. Fear of failure. Fear of being exposed. Fear that they're not good enough. But awareness, that's your first layer of power. Here's the framework I live by now. It's what pulled me out of the mental spiral and helped me become the kind of trader who can breathe while trading. 1. The mental journal. Not just a trade log, but a raw, honest reflection of your mind. Before the trade, during the trade, after the trade, ask yourself, what was I feeling when I entered? Was this trade part of my plan? Or was it emotion-driven? What would I have done differently if I had zero fear? This isn't just about tracking wins. It's about tracking you, the real you, the one behind the keyboard, the one who shows up when the pressure hits. Because every loss has a lesson, but only if you're willing to look for it. 2. The pre-trade ritual. Before any entry, ask, am I calm right now? Am I emotionally neutral? If the answer is no, you walk away. Simple. Breathe. Stretch. Close your eyes for 30 seconds. Visualize placing the trade, and then walking away without needing the outcome. Because when you need to win, you add emotional risk. You want to show up like a surgeon. Precise, detached, focused. Not a gambler, not a hero, just a professional doing their job. 3. The emotional check-in. Once a day, pause. Check your mind. Check your motives. Ask yourself, am I overthinking today? Am I trading from ego? What am I trying to prove right now? Here's a question that saved me more than once. Am I trying to win, or am I trying to heal something else? Because sometimes, that losing trade wasn't about the chart. It was about your childhood, your need for validation, your self-worth. Mark Douglas didn't say that directly, but he pointed to it. And now, I see it everywhere. Every chart is a psychological battlefield, and every click, a choice between reaction and control. Bonus tool. The daily affirmation. Before you trade, say this out loud. I don't need to win today. I just need to execute with discipline. I am calm. I follow my plan. The result doesn't define me. My process does. Say it even if you don't believe it yet. Because repetition rewires identity. And detachment? That's where profit lives. Let's take a breath. We've covered a lot. And if you've made it this far, I want you to hear this. You're not a weak trader. You're not broken. You're not bad at this. You're just human. And that's what the market exposes. Not your knowledge. Not your strategy. Your humanness. Repeat button. Let's recap the 5 psychological rules from Mark Douglas that changed everything for me. 1. The need to be right. Detach from outcome. Obsess over process. 2. Over-leveraging after a win. Discipline is tested in success, not just losses. 3. FOMO. The market is infinite. Your peace is not. 4. Self-sabotage after progress. We only keep what we believe we deserve. 5. Trading to get even. You don't get even. You get humbled. These aren't just rules. They're mirrors. They'll show you who you really are. And if you're brave enough to look, they'll change not just how you trade, but how you live. Speech balloon. Drop a comment below. Tell me, which rule hit you hardest? Was it the fear of being wrong? The revenge trades? That moment you realized you don't actually believe you deserve to win? I read every comment, and your honesty might just help another trader feel less alone. Wrapped gift, by the way. I've linked a free trading journal PDF in the description. Use it. Print it. Start reflecting before you react. In the next video, I'm going to share the story of a trader who went from blowing 7 accounts to becoming fully funded in 90 days. But here's the twist. He didn't change his strategy. He changed his mind. So make sure you hit subscribe, tap that bell icon, and if this video helped you breathe a little deeper, let it help someone else. Share it, because profits fade. But peace scales forever.